So here I am, 3 years after I got this bike. It's the Tao Tao Db-14. It's made in China and it costs about $450. So first I want to talk about some of the things I changed. First I had to change out the carburetor back here because the old one was really disgusting. All the stuff was falling apart, the metal was coming off inside of the carburetor, and that could be due to my lack of maintenance for this bike, but it was also just a very cheap carburetor. This one that I put in here, it's been in here for 2.5 years now. It makes the bike run a lot better than the stock one, and I think I got it for like $15. So that's probably the best investment I made on this bike. Another thing I had to change was the back tire because this rear sprocket broke on like my 10th ride on this bike. So I had to replace that whole thing. That was a little bit more expensive. I think that's all I've changed on this bike. It comes almost all the way built. All you have to do is put on the front handlebars, front tire, and fork, I think. You might have to put on the back tire, I'm not sure. I don't really remember. But I also should fix this. It's the Kickstarter. This kind of broke off. Shouldn't really break off because you have to keep kicking it, but it just comes off sometimes when you kick it now. So I kind of taped it up so it wouldn't hit me in the leg as hard. To be honest, I haven't really ridden this in a year because it hasn't been working, and I just kind of gave up on it. It's a little cheap, like $450 bike, and I really just don't feel like riding it anymore. It was fun when I first got it because I was still learning, you know, the power of a motor or whatever. This is 110 cc's, so it's not very powerful at all. And this one's actually semi-automatic. You just click it down for all the way to 4th gear, and then all the way back up. It's backwards from a normal motorcycle. It has no clutch, obviously, because semi-automatic. Front brake's where normal front brake is. Rear brake is down here. As you can see, mine's kind of bent because I actually leaned it up against a tree, and the metal's so shitty that it bent in half. So now my back brake's a little bent. Also, this foot peg, which is supposed to fold in when it gets damaged or something, so it doesn't get damaged. That part bent. The gas tank got sealed shut once. Oh no, the rings on this thing, the indents just screwed in aren't very good, as you can hear that. All the welds on the frame are obviously pretty cheaply put together. They're trying to save as much money. It comes from China. It's not a very good bike, obviously, and I knew that coming into this. I just kind of wanted something fun I could ride with for like a summer and a half, and it did deliver on that part. It was fun for a little while until everything started falling apart. Most of the bolts come loose. You have to tighten those almost every time you ride, and I know that's like a thing you should definitely check up on. But when you're going for like a 20-minute ride, all the bolts shouldn't start coming loose on you. That's a little strange. All this stuff got corroded away, probably because I left it in a garage, but it's also just like really cheap Chinese pot metal. You can see some of the pieces are like rotting away in here. All the cables and tubes are getting pretty beat up. If you take care of this and you ride it often, it's either gonna fall apart from you riding it often, or it's just gonna fall apart in general. Honestly, you can see how it's put together here. Super cheaply made, but it's fun for like, I guess, a year, and then it just starts withering away. So you have the start-stop switch, and then you have the choke down here, and on this side you have the fuel switch, which is really in a terrible spot. You have to like lift up the plastic and like fold this back just to turn the fuel, which is a little annoying. Air filter, and then you have the rear shock and the chain, all that. I didn't take very good care of this. That's probably why it broke, but it's gonna break eventually. It's made out of like shitty products. So if you're looking to actually get a nice bike, or a bike that'll work for more than a year, I would definitely like spend your money. wisely. You can get something much better used for like $400 to $500 other than this. But some of the pros are the price. Obviously it's really cheap and it runs well for the first year. Other than that, I don't really see any pros. I guess it's good for learning how to ride like a pit bike or dirt bike. You can start on this thing. It definitely made me super interested in riding motorcycles. This is barely a motorcycle, but it's still fun. It's 110 cc's and semi-automatic, so it's super easy for beginners to pick it up. I'm gonna do a little up close shot of what some of the parts look like now. I'm gonna show you down the head tube forks. The forks only go down, you only get like 2 inches of travel on the forks, and they start like rocketing out. They start making some weird ass noises once you get past that. Other than that, I think the bike's kind of fun. It was definitely fun for the year I had it, and now I'm trying to get rid of it. I don't really know. I don't really want this anymore. It's just kind of too small for me, and I don't really use it that much. So that's my review of the DBH 110cc Tao Tao pit bike. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments, and I'll try and answer as many as I can. So last time I did one of these, you guys wanted to hear me start it, and if it'll start, I'll try and start it for you, but it's most likely not going to start. That's just because the carburetor is full of gunk, because there's been fuel left in here for so long, and California fuel is kind of janky.
I'll try and start it up. Make sure the choke is off. I showed the choke off actually.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this bike, buying this bike, my experience with it, just feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, I guess. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, if you found something helpful. Thanks for watching. Peace.